Hi there, I'm back with a new video. Remember when Shogun was released, there was a big commotion that the series lacked diversity. When the whole show was based on a real historical figure, William Adams, which was an advisor to the Shogun of that period. Since they didn't got the diversity they wanted from Shogun, we are now getting the movie Yasuke the Black Samurai. Just to tell you in advance, this movie won't be historically accurate, just like how The Woman King was, but they're trying to spin this as a true story. You never know, it may be good if they approach it as a fictional story or a what if, but they're not gonna do that. These people have to realize that Shogun was loved by the audience because it gave, as close as they could, a picture of how feudal Japan was in that era. And of course, it will be full of Japanese people. That's how Japan was in the 1600s. So let's see the article I found on Variety that gave us the news. Warner Bros. Lands Black Samurai movie from The Color Purple director Blitz Bazawule. In a competitive situation, Warner Bros. Has landed The Color Purple director Blitz Bazawule next project, which takes on the legendary Yasuke, an African warrior who became the first black samurai. Okay, let's put some things in order here. Yasuke never became a samurai. He was a retainer, or in other words, a weapon bearer that was practically a servant that had more rights from your typical slave of that period. To be a samurai, you had to be a Japanese nobleman or an elite warrior that had the ability to kill anyone of a lower class, of course, if the situations were right. But before continuing with the article, let me read this before I have someone saying I'm just making this up. Yasuke was a man of African origin who came to Japan in Sengoku period and became a retainer in the household of Oda Nobunaga. He was employed by the Japanese Sengoku Oda Nobunaga and served as kosho. He was valued as a retainer who was given a stipend by Nobunaga. Just to clarify, a stipend is practically a lower than average wage given to somebody that is a servant in that time period. Yasuke is regarded by some writers as Japan's first recorded foreign-born samurai, but notably this depends on how one defines the word samurai. All this is on Wikipedia and I'll leave a link for this, so I won't have anyone saying that I'm making this up. Sources tell Variety that Warner Bros. Beat out 3 other studios and streamer bids on the script tentatively titled Black Samurai, which Bazawule wrote on spec and will direct and produce under his Inward Gaze banner. The Ghanaian filmmaker who brought his unique visual language to the Oprah Winfrey and Steven Spielberg produced musical movie is said to have done the same with his take on Yasuke, an African warrior who served under the Japanese daimyo Oda Nobunaga during the Sengoku period of samurai conflict 16th century Japan. Instead of a traditional biopic, the film invokes shades of 300 and Mad Max. Exact plot points are still under wraps. They're actually gonna depict him as a samurai where he wasn't. And they're gonna use the aesthetic that Zack Snyder's 300 had, which wasn't historically accurate too. But at least Zack Snyder had said that his movie was based on the comic book. But with this movie, they're trying to promote false historical events, like they did with another movie, The Woman King, where they were trying to convince us that the Dahomey were saviors, but in reality, they were the slave traders of their own race. So this Black Samurai is based on false historical claims where after Oda's death, there are no historical sources of what happened to him, just assumptions. Now, if they want to make this a fictional story, it could work like a popcorn action flick, like a better version of The Man with the Iron Fists, as long as they don't try to push the narrative that this is a historical figure. So what do you all say? Is the Black Samurai a true historical figure? Write it down in the comments section below. And don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a good one.